Oh, it's 6:02. Well, good evening. We're here at the Open Space, Parks, and Recreation Commission meeting, and we're going to call this meeting to order at 6:02. So, the land that Eureka rests on is known in the Wiyot language as Jerujiti. Past actions by local, state, and federal governments removed the Wiyot and their indigenous peoples from the land and threatened to destroy their cultural practices. The city of Eureka acknowledges the Wiyot community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. This acknowledgement demonstrates the city's commitment to dismantle the ongoing legacy of settler colonialism. Can we have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Commission member Mayers?
Mays.
Mays? Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Commission member Parks?
Present.
Commission member Bareilles?
Yes, sir.
Commission member Brenner?
Present.
Commission member Sims?
Here.
Commission members Hughes, Hefton, and Malik are absent.
Thank you. So we're going to start off with the oath of office. There's been a recommendation of a new commissioner to our team, Barbara Brenner. So, Barbara, if you don't mind standing and raising your right hand and repeating. Do you have that there? Nope. Repeating after me.
That's all right. I will.
All right. I, Barbara Brenner,
I, Barbara Brenner,
do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly affirm that I will defend and support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies,
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
and that I will bear true allegiance. I lost that part.
to the Constitution
of
of
the State of California and the United States,
and the Charter of the City of Eureka,
and the Charter of the City of Eureka.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties on which I am about to enter.
in the capacity of committee member for the Open Space, Parks, and Recreation Commission
In the capacity of a committee member for the Open Space, Parks, and Recreation Committee
of the City of Eureka.
of the City of Eureka.
All right. So on this day, we will sign. And Barbara, can I have you sign also?
Yes, I will. Use the black ink. All right.
All right, we'll give this to the clerk. City clerk? No? Okay. All right. Now the second part of our is the approval of our minutes. I give a recommendation for the approval of the minutes from July 20. Can I have a recommendation for the approval of the minutes for July 25th, 2024?
I motion that we approve the July 2024 minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Are there any questions, corrections, or comments from the commissioners about the minutes? And any public comment? Do we have anyone on Zoom? Okay. So, do we have? Please call for a vote. Thank you.
Can we have a vote on that motion, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. So, commission reports. Are there any commission reports? All right. So we'll move on to public comments. No one on Zoom either, so we'll move to the next agenda item of old business. And Donna's going to cover that about Dayos Park.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Very excited to be back. I've been off for medical reasons for off and on for the last year and a half or so, and I am back. And I am very excited because the work we do here is awesome, and it feels good, and it juices you up. So let's go. All right.
You inspire us all.
Yes.
Aw, thank you.
So
Thank you,
glad
thank
you're
you.
back.
Okay, so Dayos updates are pretty brief for today. We are sidewalks, curbs, and parking lots are being poured. So we're getting in the final grading phase. Grading for the playground will also be finished in a couple of weeks, although the weather is not cooperating, so things may be pushed back a little bit. But then as soon as we get the grading for the playground, then we get to start working on the install for the egret. I went ahead and I know many of you have seen the Dayos overview, but I wasn't sure if Barbara had, so I went ahead and brought one of those to share so you can be in the loop. This is the hottest project that we're working on right now. Very complicated, a lot going on, but it's going well. So we'll continue to give updates as things go along. Anticipating that if we meet our deadline, there should even be a pickleball tournament happening on the new courts around mid-September. So that's exciting. There's a large pickleball population, and it's getting larger and stronger, and our purview is to ensure that we've got great places to play. So this Highland part, this is not Dayos, but Highland has the pickleball courts. I'm going to tell you more about that later. I'm getting them mixed up. We're talking about Dayos. Okay, I'm out of my. Been a little while. Got to get on my game here. Everybody got me?
We're doing a lot.
We're doing
so
good.
thank
Okay, all right, Jesse. Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. So yes, Dayos. That is the scoop on Dayos, and I think the next thing is just if anyone has any questions or wants any more updates on a more regular basis, or you get any questions from the public, feel free to reach out at any time. We can meet and go into many more details. There's a lot going on, but it is going to be so fun to start to break that egret out of the box. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to participating in any opening ceremonies.
Absolutely.
We spoke to Robin and Jeff about that last month. So.
Absolutely. And actually, the same goes for Highland, because Highland is actually the first grand opening that we'll probably have. And so we'll do the same for Highland as well.
Oh,
Thank you for giving us those updates and alerts.
Absolutely. That's all for that one.
All right. Well, our next agenda item, 7.2, is the change of our OSPR meeting frequency.
And I think what Jeff shared with me was the last time you guys met and talked about it, it sounded like the majority was good to keep it as is, but I think someone wasn't there for that last meeting, and so we might have kept it. I don't know, maybe Jack wasn't.
No.
So I think this being on the agenda tonight was just to confirm everybody's on the same page.
I'm content with whatever the majority.
Okay. Then I think that's it.
Yeah, and I think what we had talked about was having the similar schedule where we might miss the holiday meeting depending on where it lands.
Yes.
And there's a summer break meeting that we similarly take. And so just those two, and otherwise we wanted to continue to meet monthly.
Okay.
Was the consensus. Any other discussion or questions about that?
I would just add one thing, and that is we need to do a better job of getting the public here. So we're going to work on that. We're going to meet next week and pull together campaign of sorts to maybe sharing a project. And then if you want to learn more, like we'll work on, because we don't have anybody coming in. We need to work on that. So
Yeah, and we'd love to hear about things that are up and coming. Like we just had the historic art festivals and some heritage festivals and different things like that. We'd love to have people come.
yes, okay, you got it.
All right, anything else to add to that? All right, we'll move on to, if there's no other discussion, and no vote needed for this one. Okay. All right, so we'll move on to new business. So the first new business is for the Slough Fish Passage, a floodplain restoration and coastal habitat connectivity project. Brittany Powell's here for that. Brittany, it's great to see you.
Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for having me. Let me get this up here. You don't see it. I'm Brittany Powell, a project manager for the City of Eureka's engineering department, and I'm excited to present to you guys tonight the First Slough Fish Passage Floodplain Restoration and Coastal Habitat Connectivity Project. So an introduction, the First Slough watershed extends from Humboldt Bay near the Eureka Slough Bridge under Myrtle Avenue near Cooper Gulch Park and all the way upstream to the Eureka High School campus. Historically, the First Slough watershed was anadromous and utilized by salmonids. And if you're not familiar, this picture here is the First Slough and trail in the Cooper Gulch Park, often utilized by disc golfers.
Andromedous? What does that mean? The word
Anadromous? Mm-hmm.
that word,
Yeah.
what does it mean?
I believe it means from saltwater to freshwater.
Whoever's
Yeah.
speaking needs to have their mic on.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Right, little project background. In 2020, the City of Eureka received almost $300,000 in grant funds from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife's Fisheries Restoration Grant Program to fund the design and environmental compliance. In 2023, the city was awarded nearly $5 million for construction through CDFW's Restoration Grant Program's Drought Protecting Salmon. This is fully funded by CDFW. The project is located in Eureka. There's 4 key areas: the Cooper Gulch Park, which is a habitat, 14th Street Crossing, N Street Crossing, and M Street Crossing, which are all barriers to fish passage. You can see it here, and we'll go into greater detail of all those locations. Goals and objectives for the First Slough project: remove 3 known migration barriers on the First Slough to support an additional 1 mile of anadromous habitat, targeting coho salmon and benefiting other species. Restore and enhance spawning and rearing habitat quality in the Cooper Gulch Reach between Myrtle Avenue and the 14th Street Crossing, with restoration of the riparian corridor, floodplain restoration, and inclusion of large wood for habitat. Enhance the habitat connectivity and availability. Maximize habitat benefits provided in the critical ecotone between saltwater and freshwater habitat, and decrease the risk of culvert failure and sediment transport by increasing the hydraulic conveyance of First Slough. Environmental, this project being exclusively for restoration, we were able to utilize CDFW's Cutting the Green Tape program, which accelerates the pace and scale of restoration projects throughout California. This process provides CEQA statutory exemption for restoration projects. The first area here is within the Cooper Gulch Reach. The key features are realigning the channel, making it 150 feet longer. Some off-channel habitat with lots of wood. Old channel becomes wetland, and revegetate the area with native plants. At 14th Street, and this is specifically between N and P at the dip there, we are replacing the existing culvert with a 12-foot diameter culvert, 130 feet long, reconstructing the roadway and associated damaged embankment. And the roadway will be closed during construction. We are a little bit behind on that. It's going to start next week, August 26th, that closure. and that will be through most of October. At N and M Streets, this area is most closely at 15th Street. The M Street culvert will be replaced with an 8-foot diameter culvert, 130 feet long. The design will accommodate existing city utilities for stormwater and sewerage. The N Street culvert will be removed and the stream will be daylighted. Log structures will be installed to control channel grade and enhance the in-stream habitat. And
Where's the Main Street culvert? I know this area because I walk through it all the time, but which one will be removed?
the N Street, it's probably one you can't see because there's no like access point to it. Yeah. So the here in this picture here, that's a lift station at M Street and 15th. Project timeline, construction is currently underway and will go through October 21st with the revegetation window November 1st through March 15th of 2025. Some pictures we have recently, the fish relocation prior to construction. It was a pretty neat process to witness. Right now at Cooper Gulch, if you go down there, you'll see these fish screens in place to keep the fish out of the construction area. And this picture right here was actually taken today, the progress we're making at the M Street culvert. This is an 8-foot culvert, and if you look over here, that was the existing 2-foot culvert, so it's much larger. A lot going on down there right now, so it's pretty exciting. And that about wraps it up. I can take any questions if you have them.
I'm just curious about the screening bed. So with the microphone, sorry. Regarding the stream bed, around the area of the skate park, then you were going to detour it to the west and bend it a little bit, and then are you making it deeper and bigger? Is that part of the plan? You mentioned there were going to be chunks of wood in there or chunks of trees in there.
Yes, I believe. Yeah, I'd have to look more closely at the plans in that area, but I believe that's the plan.
That's cool. Okay, thanks.
I do have a question too. A while ago, we were working really closely with the Cooper Gulch Common Grounds group, and are they being kept up in the loop about this project?
I've been communicating closely with community services, so hopefully that connection is made. Yeah, and so the Cooper Gulch Commons, is that what you said? Okay.
Cooper Gulch Common Ground.
Common Ground, okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping that some of this aligns with their plans because they've put so much energy and effort into creating plans for the expansion of the park and the care of the park. So
Yeah. And our crews have been, they're fully aware of the disc golfers and how many there are. So they're doing their best to, work around and keep things going as normal as possible. Yeah.
that's wonderful to know as well. So, well, I have something to share if no other questions. Just about Cooper Gulch, actually. We also have a coastal cleanup that's coming up for the month of September. Coastal cleanups all over the region. And the coastal program coordinator, Sable Audrey, is working with one of our big sisters, Caroline, for the North Coast Environmental Center. And we'll be cleaning up at Cooper Gulch on the 14th of September with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we're really excited about that annual tradition. So I know we have a call to action later about volunteers. So I'm going to do that a little early and say on the 14th, please come out and join us. We'll have our safety seminar and at 10 a.m. and we'd love volunteers to come out from 10 to 1 p.m. to join us. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what day did you say that was?
September 14th.
September 14th. Thank you.
Just wanted to add that we are very lucky to have City Engineer Willer here tonight to give us actually some updates. Are you doing that? Or is Jesse doing that? Sorry, I wasn't sure who was doing that. Anyway, we have some recent updates. They're not completely on the, it's just a little bit more extension of Brittany's presentation on another aspect.
No, it's perfect timing. I think with the question about Cooper Gulch Common Ground, about the work that we're doing, that Brittany presented, did a great job presenting tonight. Yeah, we wanted, so the city has partnered a couple years ago. They partnered with Link Housing to go after Affordable Housing Sustainable Communities Grant. And the grant portion, the team was successful at, and there's a component of it that being finalized right now. So we thought this is a good opportunity to come in here and kind of give you guys an update on what's going on with Cooper Gulch, because the way that the funding and this all kind of rolls out, it'll be like a very quick moving process, just in the way when we applied for it a year and a half, 2 years ago, you don't know whether you're going to get funded. And then there's this process you go through, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, it looks like you're going to get approved, and now you have 2 years to complete the project, kind of thing. So the project it's throughout the city of Eureka. There's a number of sites, 3 sites that are the housing are related to, and through the process of applying for this grant, there are active transportation and transit improvements that go along with each one of these housing projects. So it was kind of a suite of housing development projects that were put forward. And then there's the transportation aspect of it that goes along with it, which is great because it gives these grant funds come into the city that we can use to kind of expand active transportation facilities and also transit facilities that help support these and other, housing related items in the city. One component of that was improvements at Cooper Gulch, in particular their trail improvements. And this is where I think it kind of crosses over your mention common ground there. Over the years, community services worked with that group over there and with themselves to, kind of come up with like a general game plan of like trail improvements and connection improvements and, the different improvements that you do, kind of like a master plan for a park, right? So I think that's a lot of the work that Common Ground did with community services. So we were able to, through the grant, apply for about $900,000 in trail improvements over there. So it looks like we're like 97% of the way there. So we'll find out here probably in the next few weeks whether or not that's a go or no go. But it does look like everybody that we talked to on the team really seems to think this is going to happen. So it's about 2,600 lineal feet of Class 1 trail. A Class 1 trail is, as far as Caltrans concerned, it's a specific type of trail facility where there's a width requirement, shoulder requirement. There's a lot of design requirements that go along with it. But basically, if you think about like the Waterfront Trail, Humboldt Bay Trail, any of these new trails that we have along the waterfront, those are all Class 1 trail facilities. So 2,600 lineal feet, it's about half a mile. Right now, we haven't identified every last bit of what that will be, but it'll likely be a loop within the park there. And we'll have some opportunities probably to enhance some connections there as well. So it's very exciting. We thought with the presentation tonight about the work going on with the stream and fish passage in the area, that this would be a good opportunity just to kind of let you know what's going on there with that particular grant, because it's all of a sudden been like, hey, this could happen, and if it happens, we're going to have to jump on it. And the reality is if it does come together, it'll be like constructed in the next couple of years. So it'll move very quickly, which typically these things do not go that fast. They take a lot of years, and there's planning and that sort of thing. So it all is going to get accelerated, which means a lot of work for staff, but in the end, it could be a very great project. So I just wanted to give you guys a brief update on that. And if you have any questions, I can field those for you.
Yeah, so one of the the leaders on the Common Grounds, Cooper Gulch Common Grounds group, was also a city planner had some background there. And so I know they had a lot of hopes that they had a lot of feedback that they gotten from the community. How are you leveraging that information to?
Well, I think leveraging like that, we levered that information in the standpoint is like we kind of had that game plan from the master plan, and we're able to pull from that and say, hey, look, we have this project here, or components of that, because those park improvements were pretty like the entire park. And the way this grant was lined up, it was really geared towards active transportation. So there's certain things you could do. You couldn't do like a snack shack or a field, but you could do trail work, right? And so we're like, hey, there's great opportunity to really enhance these trails. So I think that's kind of how that tie between the work that was done there came to, hey, here's a grant opportunity. We can make those work together.
Awesome. So some of the designs that they put together are being incorporated in that trail work?
I wouldn't go that far.
No.
We'd have to look into it and do a comparison of sorts, but definitely everything that was done with CGCG was communicated to our other colleagues, and I'd be happy to go into more details with that with you at another time too, if you want to go talk about it more.
Thank you. Yes, I'd love that.
I just have a quick question. That type of trail, so that's going to be multi-purpose, so it's going to be bikes and hikers and horses, or not? I don't know that people would bring horses to that area, I would think.
Right. I don't think in this
Okay.
particular capacity that horses would fit in with a city park like that. There may even be ordinance that might.
For example, the
Limit that.
trails at Sequoia Park are no horses.
Okay.
There's signage up.
Primarily, pedestrians and cyclists.
Okay. Thank you.
You mentioned 3 housing spots. I'm just curious what they were, if you remember off the top of your head.
Yeah, I can take a wag at those. So 6th and M, so right over here on the, about a block over, there's a city parking lot there that'll be converted into housing. There's one on Myrtle and Sunny, so right there, that's a city-owned parking lot on Myrtle at the corner of Sunny, and then there's one at 8th and G. That's another. They're all city parking lots that were put up for this grant.
I'm excited about this. I attended some of those meetings at the Jefferson Community Center, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and it seemed like a long shot. Congratulations for getting that. That's great.
Congratulations. Yeah, no, it'll be a wonderful project. Again, we're not quite there yet, but it really does feel like we're at the very last. For all intents and purposes, it sounds like we're there, but it's that close.
Well, it's wonderful when we can have these things complement the direction that we need for our community with the housing and everything. So it's just a beautiful vision that we have, and thanks for keeping us updated on the project as it comes along.
When do you think you're going to know for sure?
I don't know the direct answer for that. I know that we have a meeting with the funding agency tomorrow morning. I don't think they're going to tell us in that meeting, but I think this is one of those things where they don't necessarily have a date set for it, but there's it'll come from everything we've been told. We're supposed to hear in the next month or so, and that really, after that, things they have to fall into place based on the schedule that's in the grant very quickly, and so it'll be from a standpoint of doing design review, designs, and all the environmental process and everything that happen will be expedited for sure.
Any other questions? Well, Jesse, thank you so much for coming down and staying late to give us this report. We hope to see you again soon.
No, it was fun. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jesse.
And Brittany, thank you again for your report as well. We appreciated that. I hope a lot of people get to see this recording. It was a lot of great information up to the day. So very impressive. Thank you. Our next agenda items is our reports from McKay Community Forest Advisory Group. And Carol's here for that.
Unfortunately, we haven't, our meeting in July was canceled because county, they lost a key employee who was very involved with Bob Vogt. He was very involved with the McKay Community Forest, and they are still in the process of hiring. And so Hank sent out an email saying that he would let us know soon when we will be meeting again. But unfortunately, things are kind of on hold right now.
Well, thank you for that. Well, what we do know is every first Saturday of the month, there's an opportunity to volunteer, and you can meet the crew at the Redwood Fields. Thank you very much. And there's a utility box there, and Dennis usually shares and reminds us to come down and join him. And he typically has a few groups that are already joining. And so if you're interested in having a group join us at him as well at the McKay Fields, they start early in the morning, 9 a.m., but then they disperse for that project's assignment. So you do need to meet them at 9 a.m. At the Redwood Fields utility box.
Thanks for remembering that, to say that.
All right. Well, thank you. Our next agenda item, if there are no questions, our next agenda item is upcoming volunteer opportunities. So Donna, thank you.
Yes. All right. We have September coming up around the corner, and that's Volunteer Month in Eureka. And I provided a flyer with all the details, but I know we've got folks watching, so we want to kind of go through them a little bit because there are 4 awesome opportunities to volunteer in Eureka coming up on September 7th at the Eureka Visitor Center. We've got an Old Town beautification effort happening. That's at 9 a.m. at 108 F Street, the Eureka Visitor Center. On the 14th of September, we've got Sequoia Park Ivy League, and folks meet at Glatton T Street, and that's at 9 a.m. on September 14th. And then on September 21st, we have the Del Norte Dog Park Volunteer Day. It's actually at the dog park, 1200 West and Del Norte Street, and that also starts at 9 a.m. And the Volunteer Appreciation Barbecue and Party will be on September 28th this year. Starts at 4 p.m. and it's at the Sequoia Park Gazebo, 3590 W Street. And I also want to highlight, if any volunteers attend all 4 events, they have an opportunity to win a $250 Pearson's gift card. Thank you, Pearson's Building Center, for that. And empowereureka.org has all the details, as well as a lot more details for upcoming events down the road. That's what we have coming up around the corner.
That's exciting and always a lot for you and the team. So thank you, Robin. In your absence, we still are thinking of you.
Yes.
Do we need to RSVP for that volunteer appreciation picnic?
No.
Or bringing anything?
No.
No side dishes?
No.
Okay, just double checking.
If you're volunteering in Eureka, we're going to take good care of you.
I love that. I hope everyone heard that. And it's true. All right. Any other questions? All right. We'll move on then to our Parks and Capital Projects. Jeff Ramey's. Well, Donna, you'll be giving us that report.
Yes. So Highland Park, what got me confused earlier tonight, Highland Park, we're finishing the restrooms. The playground is in. We're adding toddler swings. That's the last piece for the playground. We mentioned the pickleball event hopefully being able to happen mid-September. Pretty sure that will happen. The fencing is the last piece of that. And so even if any other parts of the park aren't completely ready, pretty sure we're going to pull this pickleball event off. It's much desired, and everybody is just biting at the bit to play pickleball on these new courts. Outdoor pickleball courts have been desired in Eureka for years. This is a big accomplishment. We have a plan for potentially adding pickleball courts to Carson Park, as you know, but securing funding hasn't happened yet. So that's still pending, but being able to have these at Highland is huge. So that's Highland Park. And then I know you've been hearing about Grace Martin, the new park down at the Sacco Amphitheater next to the Adorney Center. And we've been working with the designer. We're working on 60% design documents right now. If we keep the flow that we're on and the timing continues to work, we should potentially be able to go out to bid and construction next spring. So we'll see how this fall goes with getting to that final number. When you create a plan and you've got your estimates of what it's going to be, and then you get into the minutia of the details, and then, oh gosh, okay, we got to cut this, or we need to, those kinds of conversations are hard. They're very hard to do, but they're a part of the process. So that is Grace Martin, and that's what we have for park updates tonight.
Well, continue to shoot for the stars. It's
Yes.
okay to get to
Yes.
the moon.
Yes.
right? Well, thank you. We also have next on our agenda item is recreation revenue summary for July 2024.
Any questions in particular?
I saw that it was down a little bit, but that was described because you're waiting for payment from Changing Tides. I'm assuming when that payment is received, you'll be back on track and above on track for your yearly. Is that correct?
Yes, I think this is a good time for us all to be reminded that for a 12-month span of recreation revenue, payments and back payments and forward payments, and all of those things drastically impact what month things get put into the system. And we're very big on making sure we have 100% accuracies, but it can be misleading. So the ultimate thing to be looking at right now, I think, and then also especially to hold us accountable come June, is what is our final percentage. So I think the big one to peek at is that bottom right box. So we've got a goal of for fiscal year for 24-25 of 240,000. And so far for our first, we're only 1 month into the fiscal year. We're at 8.33 and we're currently at 18,000, which is almost 8%, and our goal that we should be at is 8.33%. So that's the number to really hone in on. Yeah. Also, there are lots of explanations as if you're ever curious about a particular thing. But yeah, that's the reasoning behind the numbers.
Thank you. That helps a lot. And I
Okay.
think Jeff tried to explain some of that last month when we were picking through the nitty gritty, but thank you for that.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So will pickleball bring in a significant amount of revenue?
At this point, no, because we haven't planned any particular programming for that park location. We're just seeing it as a free drop-in site. But I would say also we have a lot of awesome pickleball programming at the Adorney Center. This outdoor pickleball is the thing, is all the rage. It's all the outdoor pickleball. The indoor program that we have at the Adorney Center has been flourishing for years, continuing to grow and grow, and 1,000% revenue generator. Really good, definitely. So I could see us potentially throwing programs together for Highland as well. I think right now these folks are just excited to play on their own, but we'll probably come up with some great programming options as well.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, it's exciting to know that we're starting off the year so strong. And the weather has been delightful, even today. It's nice to get some rain in between.
Yes.
Are there any other questions about the summary report or revenue report? All right, we'll move on to our next agenda item, and that's the staff reports. Donna?
All right.
Do we need to vote the revenue report? I think both together. But, no, it says. No, that was good because I think it says here
we
that
don't.
we do.
I would have thought we needed to. I thought we
It
had
does
in the
say we
past.
do.
I thought we had.
Let's see.
Right, we can. I
Lisa?
vote to approve.
Lisa's on Zoom. Do we need to have a vote? I can't see where it is on the.
It doesn't call for the vote here, but it does here.
Typically, there is a vote to accept the revenue report by the
Yes.
commission.
He
Thank
had
you,
it right.
Lisa.
Thank
We
you.
heard your voice.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
guys.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, so
Let's vote.
we don't have any public comments today, and no one on Zoom, but any other comments for the report? Can I have someone move to accept the revenue report?
I'll move to accept the revenue report.
I'll second.
And if we can all vote?
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion passes. Thank you for keeping us on track. All right. So the next agenda item then is our staff reports. Thank you.
All
Donna.
right. So the first thing I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of is that we unfortunately lost Sumo, our red panda, and there's a lovely article and more details on Lost Coast. But the positive thing is that Sumo was 15, and red pandas typically live 8 to 10 years. So that's special. So
And had already lost their child, I think, in 2023.
Yeah. So moving forward, I don't have any details about moving forward with the animals, but we are going to be investing in upgrades to the red panda exhibit. So we'll have more details on that next month. In fact, I think what I want to do is invite Jim Campbell Spickler, the director of the zoo, because he hasn't been here in a while, I don't think. So we'll get a great presentation from Jim on all things zoo.
And we
park,
used to get
too.
reports from him monthly at the foundation meetings or bi-monthly. So it would be great to have him. So thank you.
Donna or Lisa on Zoom, I wonder, you mentioned the zoo and that would we be allowed to have a meeting there instead of here, and then maybe with a tour beforehand or something like that? Afterwards wouldn't work this time of year, or will soon not work. But are we allowed to do that?
I believe we are. The only thing we would probably have to figure out is the
Zoom.
yeah. So we'll look into that and see if we can figure out. If not, we can definitely go have a tour for sure. Maybe not replace a meeting with it, but yes, great idea. We'd love to do that, and Jim would love to have you all there too.
Now, Donna, can you give us a little bit of update on the foundation at all?
I would
And
like
if
to
we
save
are-
that for Jim, if
for
that's
when
okay.
Jeff comes back?
Not Jeff, Jim.
Jim, when
The
Jeff comes-
director,
okay.
sorry, Director Campbell Spickler. He
Oh.
would be the one. We have amazing things. I'll give you a little bit. Amazing new plans with Humboldt Area Foundation. They're phenomenal. And so many details are just moving in a real healthy, positive direction. And we're excited about that. Jim would be very excited to give you all the details.
Wonderful. I know that the from my previous support, that the stewards of the Redwood Park were inquiring. I've seen a couple in community, and they were inquiring if they are still needed. So I'm not sure how we do reach out to the stewards that were helping with the walk. The skywalk.
With the skywalk? Well, the program's still in play.
Oh, good.
So we should, we can follow up with Jim and get more details, and we can have a report on that too, if you'd like.
Okay, thank you.
Sound good? All right, so that is one piece. Another update is the Duck Pond Road at Sequoia Park. It's been closed for a while for repairs, and now we are fired up and excited to reopen it. In the past, pre-COVID, it was open 6 days a week, closed on Mondays. We had a lot of positive feedback that it was nice to have a day that there weren't cars going up and down. So the new, we're going to open on September 4th. There'll be a press release and everything out to the public. This is probably the first time this is getting out there, which is good. The new hours are going to be 8 to 4, and then open Wednesday through Sunday. So we decided to go ahead and add a second day because the public is so used to it being closed. We thought it might be good for starters, at least, to go 2 and 5. So it'll be closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and yeah, September 4th, and we'll have great signage out, and we'll put out a press release and all that good stuff. So that's one update for the Duck Pond Road. Improvements there are super good. And the last thing I just wanted to share is, did anyone attend the Get Out and Play Day? Spectacular this year. I went to all of the events. I spent the whole day, and it was so fun. The fishing in the duck pond. I don't know if you've seen any pictures. I might have to bring pictures next time. or maybe we'll email you a couple pictures. We'll do that, Lisa. There's just some images of little ones with fishes at that duck pond that I haven't seen that kind of activity in the I've worked here for a long, long time, and it's so exciting. So a great partnership, and I know Jeff's talked a lot about that the Department of Fish and Wildlife and all that good stuff. But definitely a highlight for Get Out and Play Day. The Upper Meadow in Sequoia Park had so many different activities going on. The zoo, free for children, awesome. There was packed line out the front. RC car event over at Hammond Park, kite event at Halverson Park. I mean, things. Cooper Gold Skate Park, skateboard competition, skateboard. So good. So just great work, recreation team, Jim and Catherine and Steve, just phenomenal work. And it was our 10th year. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. 10 years. Thank you for that great idea, Steve Enos. So that is what I think we should end on in terms of what I have to share.
Well, it's such a beloved day. Everyone's out, and it was such great weather this year with the Matakit and then all the collaborative partners like Discovery Museum and Black Humboldt. A lot of activities going out around the city. So thanks to the team for really being thought leaders and collaborative with all of our community organizations as well.
And a whole day of play for free.
Right.
It's good stuff.
I never get to the Matakit because I just assume the line's going to be so long, but one day.
Yeah.
So, well, there's so much. I also just wanted to point out that our roller skating rink is bringing in revenue again and is open. And I know that's a treasured activity on Fridays for so many young people, if I have that right. We're open on Fridays. Mm-hmm. Do you know if we'll start changing the hours with the sun, with the change in our it getting darker earlier?
We don't have any plans to change the hours. The hours have kind of been solid for decades. It's an evening activity for youth and adults, and
All right. Well, thank you so much for your staff reports. And so, if there are no other questions, then I'll move to adjourn the meeting at 6:49.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
I was going to ask you to do it today because I was so tired. I was like,